All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Monday, August the 4th. Appreciate your patience with me. I do have kind of a varying schedule here over the next couple of weeks, but my goal is to definitely put out a daily market update. It just might not always be got to in the morning. But yeah, I wanted to talk about XRP, wanted to talk about Bitcoin and where I see everything currently. Let's start with Bitcoin. If you look at the hourly on Bitcoin, you can see where the hourly price for Bitcoin is comparative to the 50, 100, and 200 EMAs. The 50 is the purple, the 100 is the white, and the 200 is the red. And the reason I want to point this out is because when you look at Bitcoin's current moves and where price is related to these estimated moving averages, and then you go to something like XRP, you can see that XRP is showing more relative strength currently against Bitcoin. You can see that XRP is already above its 200 EMA moving average on the 1 hour, where Bitcoin is still slightly below it. And partly why that's the case is because the XRP BTC pair itself is showing signs of strength against Bitcoin, which makes sense because also the Bitcoin dominance on the hourly has been dropping from a recent high of 62.61% down currently to about 61.62%. So yeah, we're seeing kind of the next wave of the altcoin cycle here, I believe. And if you come out here to the 4 hour, what I'm watching for here is for the next hour and a half, I would love to see price close above this 50 and 100 estimated moving average. Or excuse me, not estimated, exponential moving average. Sorry, a lot on the brain today. But yeah, I want to see price close above this area, really above 305, 304-ish. Would love to see a close here in the next 1.5 hours for the 4 hour close there. Coming out to the daily, you can see how we bounced perfectly off the 200 EMA on the daily. And we've had follow through after yesterday's green candle. Like I said yesterday, I would have loved to have seen a little bit more green side here on yesterday's close, but it was good enough. This, I think, qualifies as a tweezer bar pattern. And so we should see, and what that tweezer bar pattern is typically it's a sign of a reversal. So we're getting confirmation on that here on this daily candle. Obviously would love to see us close the daily either above 310 or really above 318-ish, 318.5, 319. That'd be a great sign for a daily close. I am thinking we will get, at least one intraday pullback here. I don't think it would be a lot. We could come back to retest $3 now that we've broken back through a support. It would make sense for us to get a support resistance flip where this was support, then it became resistance, and now we're breaking through it again. It would make sense for market makers to push price back to this 302, 305 area at some point. We could continue upwards movement here to $3.27. Maybe even come and wick above 333 before we get some kind of pullback. That's just where it becomes harder to figure out where that pullback is going to be. If you come down to kind of the sub-hourly charts, this could have been your wave 2. We could have gotten a very shallow wave 2, and we could be starting a wave 3 here within this smaller degree Elliott wave. Yeah. I just don't see a lot of, I don't see a lot of correction here so far, except for this, this wedge or this triangle here, which typically those aren't wave 2s. Those are wave 4 corrective type moves, but it is possible for a wave 2, especially if the underlying conditions are that bullish. So we've broken back up above $3, 302, 303. And, we're getting price acceptance here. So looking pretty good. I do want to see what happens over the next hour and a half as we go into that 4 hour close here around 3 p.m. Central time. So that's what we'll be watching for. So, yep, that's XRP. We've already looked at Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin, I would love to see a sign of strength here on Bitcoin in the next 4 hours. Actually in the next hour and a half, and then certainly in the following 4 hour candle. as Bitcoin is just sitting a little bit lower on some of these lower time frames comparative to where XRP is. Let's take a look at Stellar. Just want to see where Stellar is sitting. Okay, Stellar is also sitting above the moving averages on the 4-hour. Let's look at the hourly. It's also sitting above on the hourly, all those moving averages. And again, if you come back to something like Bitcoin, Bitcoin's still stuck in the chop between all those moving averages. So those are good signs on some of these major altcoins. I'm really not prepared to talk about the others. Wow, Supra's doing great. Supra has seen a great reaction. So I would look for, continuation here on Supra. Obviously, I've got an alarm set there for that area. I might even move this down because I might start adding to my positions once I see a sign of strength there above 0.004775. Stronghold as well is just doing a 1-2-1-2 combo here. I would look for Stronghold to hold in this area and continue its ascent upward here in the next several days. But really, I think what is leading this alt season is XRP. Ethereum is doing its thing. I think Ethereum could take on that leadership role at some point, but so far XRP has been leading the alt season since the start in November of 2024. And whatever XRP does, it seems like the rest of the market has been following. So yeah, those are my thoughts here today as we start the new week. I guess I need to go back and look at the weekly close. Yeah, we had our weekly close last night. And again, would have liked to have seen a little bit more buy pressure come in on this bottom side to push price back up, but not a big deal. I think we got what we needed. And now what would be awesome is to see a weekly close back up above 366. 368. That would be awesome. So that's what we'll be watching for over the rest of the days here during the week. And I think that's about all the thoughts that I have currently. Don't forget, I have some things set here on sugartrades.io. I have the new market cap multiplier. I have the leverage calculator. And I also have a way for you to track the whale movements on Chris Larson and Arthur Brito's wallets. So if you want to sign up for that, that is completely free. If you do want to give me a tip, there's a way to do that with Zaman Wallet. So, yep, that's there and available. And these other two tools are as well. So hope that helps. And I will check back in again tomorrow. Thank you.